Hello and welcome to another episode of Open Air Creative. Today we're going to be discussing getting out of our comfort zones. So this is actually something that I feel like I've taken on a lot in my life, but at certain times I feel myself repressing behind the comfort that I have in certain areas. So I tend to get to a point where it's like I'm too comfortable in something that it bores me. It doesn't entertain me anymore. I start itching for something new. And then as much as I'm itching for something new, I still also find it really, really hard to move actually into the next step of trying something completely out of my comfort zone. And so it always takes me a little while to actually get to that point where I embark on just doing something new. Whether there's things holding me back, like financially or creatively, or just the lack of knowledge around something, the lack of understanding the next steps that I need to take, so many things that can come in to hold me back from actually wanting to take the step in more so closing the door on an old habit, an old way of being, and entering into a new one. And often the pain of staying the same is less than the pain of entering into something new. So the unknown can fear us so much that even though we're feeling pain or we're feeling some type of repression in our current lifestyle, it can still be so fearful for us to enter into something else that almost creates a different pain. So when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of trying something new, that's when you'll enter into more of a capacity to be able to flow into that in a new way. So that's what I've experienced many times. And even with this current trip that I'm on right now, an older version of me would have never taken this trip. I would have had so many stipulations around it. But recently, and this is why there wasn't an episode the past couple weeks, being new in the trip, the flights, everything, but I have been in Antigua for the past 2 weeks and it's been lovely. And yeah, like I said, an older version of me would have never done this. I would have been like, that is financially not a smart decision. Why are you going? Like, you can just stay at home and do your projects here, and, almost just not even allowing myself to experience something completely new, because I am the type of person that's very, very tight on my budget and I'm very smart with money. And so, as I've been focusing the past few years on my creative projects and not so much bringing in extra finances, I have been very, very tight on how I spend what I have. So me making this trip was very much out of my comfort zone. It actually totally terrified me, but it was one of those things that my gut was telling me that if I did not do this, it would be one of those decisions that on my deathbed, plenty of years down the road, I would, or hopefully, I would regret it. So, or just always have the what ifs in my head. Maybe not regret, I don't like using that word so much, but I would have had a lot of what ifs around what this trip would have brought. And since being here, it has been the most incredible trip. I have experienced so many things that I've been craving to experience in a really long time, but had been blocked around that, particularly with allowing my heart to open up to somebody new in a completely different and ridiculously beautiful way. And also just exploring the island, exploring the culture, meeting people, trying incredible fruit, seeing incredible sights. So getting out of my comfort zone, as scary as it was to spend money to come and try something new, I am so grateful that I did. And it's opening up, maybe not necessarily at the current moment, doors to things that I would like to bring in financially or with like work opportunities, but it has been opening up opportunities for me to expand more as a human, to grow more, to love more, to just all around be in a state of joy in a different way. Because I really do love my little van life back in Canada, but this has been a really remarkable experience that I have needed. And I've also been blocked around that idea of letting somebody in my life in a romantic way. And this connection that I met here in December when I came with my family really cracked me open, and it was a connection that I needed to explore more. And so now entering into something new and getting to experience just the ways that everything around here is, the simplicity that I'm seeing out here, has just been a really beautiful thing that I think that it just shows the power of moving beyond things that are holding us back. And I've also experienced this in the past with like addiction struggles and things like that as well, where it's like my comfort zone was so much into my addictions before that my routine was to wake up and smoke a bong and have a cigarette and drink some alcohol. And it was just like, I had such, my hold was so much on my addiction that's where I felt my comfort zone. That if I didn't have those things, I always said like, I'm a better human on those things. Like I had all these excuses for why it made me better, because it calmed my nervous system, because I was in addiction. And so when I wasn't smoking or drinking, I felt like I had so much anxiety that I wasn't as good of a person for the people around me. So that was my comfort zone for a long time. And when the pain of staying the same became greater than the unknown, I knew I had to change. I started just not feeling called to this cycle. I was like, I'm holding myself back from my growth. I'm holding myself back from beautiful things that I can experience. I'm also putting my body through a lot of pain. I'm needing to shift beyond this. So the pain moved over and swapped, and then I was slowly, not easily, but slowly able to step into quitting, starting. I played the quitting game a lot, and then eventually let those go and really stepped into this new avenue of just really honoring my sobriety and honoring life in a very in tune way with my body, and asking myself, even if I had moments where I was kind of craving a substance, really checking in and not only asking myself how I feel, but where I feel it in my body. And that was really important to me, was to really piece together, like, am I feeling tension in my hands? Am I feeling it in my stomach? Am I feeling it in my head? Like, where is it specifically located right now that is creating this desire for me to want to numb out? And then when I figured out where it was showing up, I was then able to find different things to maneuver that. So whether that was, it's my head just wants to lay down on a pillow right now, that's totally fine. Or the tensions in my hands, maybe that's because I'm needing to draw, I'm needing to create, I'm needing to even just shake them out. If it's in my stomach, maybe I need some food, maybe I need some water. Like, there was all these things that when I figured out where it was showing up, it helped me move out of the one comfort state into a new state. And then that let me experience life in a really beautiful way and just being more connected to everything around. And I actually became a better friend, a better family member. I was able to listen to people more. I was actually present with people in my life. So stepping out of that comfort zone was absolutely beautiful, and just the way that my life was supposed to be. So, I think that stepping into something new can be very terrifying. However that is, or whatever that is for you, it's going to be different things for everybody, obviously. But this is just a little bit of info on like when we actually do the things that scare us, whether that is even down to like, okay, I've been writing a book for the past, or was writing my book for years. Like it was a big healing process for me. So I was in the writing stages, then I was in the editing stages, then I was in the finalization stages. Like, it was a good 3-year process. And the reason it took me so long was writing a book is actually a big deal. And there was so much healing, so many blocked out memories that came up with it. So my comfort level went from, it was so funny because my comfort level before was like, I don't want to do this. This is terrifying. I don't want to write a book. My comfort level before was to not write the book and do the other things that I was doing, which was my work. And then when the pandemic happened, I got laid off. And then this kind of like kicked my butt into, this is the next project that you're going to do. But it did take me a while to step into that. And then when I did, the writing the book now became the comfort zone. And so I felt very comfortable with writing the book. I loved the groove that I was in. I loved the emotions that were showing up. I loved the things that were coming up, even if they were hard to deal with at first. I really loved knowing that I was really conquering hard things that were happening. And then when I finished the book, finalized it, published it, now this has been the baseline comfort zone where I was sitting on my butt for the better part of 3 years. Like, would go for some bike rides, maybe do a little bit of a workout here and there, but nothing consistent. That then entering into another aspect where I'm taking better care of my body and wanting to move more and exercise more and not feel the joint pains that I'm feeling because I'm constantly sitting down when I was writing the book. It was actually hard. Even though I used to love being physically active, it was hard for me to go from this routine of sitting down to then entering back into physical exercise. And I'm still kind of in this current transition right now where my body is so used to sitting and working on stuff that that's kind of the default mode. But I have been getting back into a little bit more exercise and it feels good. So the more momentum that I keep up with that, the stronger that's going to be. And then it'll create and enter into another comfort zone. And then hopefully you find a pattern, the balance, the things that you want to hold on to without needing to like close the door completely on one thing and then enter into a new thing. But finding the balance within my exercise and my life so that I can then enter into other things and understanding that there are certain aspects that actually can help us level into the new things with more ease, more alignment, better energies, all of this. So the whole conversation around like leaving your comfort zone and entering into something new is so fascinating to me because I think that we have so many excuses that hold us back from entering into something new. And I've experienced it plenty of times. And I know so many people who have as well. So it's just fascinating because I think when we catch ourselves saying these excuses or having things show up that, you know, we're saying certain narratives over and over again of like, why I can't do this thing, why I can't try this thing. It's good for us to then question those questions. So is it that, you know, there's imposter syndrome showing up? Like if it's something that's goal-oriented, say you're wanting to leave or slowly work on leaving a current job and entering into doing something on your own, what are the questions that are going to show up in that process? So is it that, you know, you've got the imposter syndrome, you're like, who am I to do this? What do I know? Even though you know you have knowledge around these things, you're like, other people know more than me. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't be the one teaching people these things. But the reality is the knowledge that you have matters. And I struggle with this too, where I'm like, oh, there's better people that they could listen to if they're wanting information on writing tips, or if they're wanting creativity things or whatever, grief things, whatever. The reality is the stuff that you've gone through, the information that you have, the research that you've personally done matters. And some people will resonate with the way that you say things more than the person that you're in the current moment comparing yourself to. So these things will show up, like the imposter syndrome, the like, what if I do this and I fail, which is also another really fascinating one because we hear people all the time talking about failing. Like if you're listening to people who have been successful on their financial journeys or on their business projects and things like that, they would constantly tell you about the hundreds of times that they failed in things and then they just readjust and try something new. So it's constantly about trying something new. So closing the door on comfort zones and trying something new, like constantly trying something new it should not be as scary as it is. I think we make it scarier than we need to. We build up the stories in our heads for what it's going to mean, all of the negative things, but I would love for you guys to look at the history of your life. And even though there are hard times, I'm not going to take that away from you. I know that we've all experienced hard times, but even in those hard times, look at the end results of your life. Have things on the bulk spectrum of it, because I don't know you individually, so I do not want to take that away from you of what you've gone through, but on the bulk spectrum of it, have things always kind of seem to just work out, right? Like even if you have been in debt for years, and then all of a sudden it's like you end up with an opportunity where the money just shows up. Maybe not as much that you would want, but there's always something that will come in, whether it's like you're struggling to feed yourself and then a neighbor shows up with a basket of food, or you know, you're at a grocery store and somebody decides to just pay for your groceries, or small little things like this. Like, do things just always seem to work themselves out? Especially when you dive fully into something. I know oftentimes I've heard this from other people where it's like they will be in a very high stress state, wondering how they're going to make the next rent payment, how this is all going to happen. And then out of nowhere, something just shows up that makes it easier, whether that's a new job opportunity that has a pay increase, or like I said, somebody financially shows up, or just a random check in the mail shows up that's like the final little stretch of what you needed, or like a tax payment comes in, or something will show up. And I think that that's beautiful, to just have more trust in the more that we put ourselves out there, the more we give ourselves the opportunity to really step into the divine workings and the divine care that happens in our world, to then have us step into deeper things that can help the world more. And then we escalate every single time on the increases that we need and the things that we need to put into the world collectively. So like I said, the information that you have, the ways that you say things, those things will impact people in a massive, massive way when we step into the new things that are wanting to be experienced within us. So what are the things that are showing up for you that you have been struggling to let go? What are the things that you're wanting to, this is where I would want you guys to make a list. So ask yourself, what are the things that you're holding on to that you want to let go of? The ways that you felt kind of held back, and what are the things that you're wanting to experience, the things that are creating a sense of curiosity in your mind, that are you're wanting to like amplify and step into, but you still have those nerves because that fear of the unknown. So write out these lists and just start noticing. And it doesn't mean that the list of everything that you want to do needs to be embarked on right now. That's not the point of this. This is just to see, what are the two lists? Where is the comfort zone? What has been really hard for you to let go of? And what are the new things that you want to embark on? And the thing with the embark on list, do not overwhelm yourself with thinking that you need to take all those on at once. I love the quote, you can do it all, but not all at once, because that's the truth. I think that we can get a lot accomplished in our world, and we can actually experience so many different varieties of life and what it has to offer. But when we try to do everything on that list at one time, it's obviously going to feel so overwhelming, and that is going to zap you, and then you're going to stay in your comfort zone. So make the list, find the thing that is striking to your soul the most. What is the thing that's lighting you up the most? What's the thing that you feel most charged with? What is, even just the thing that your heart is like, okay, I might actually want to do the top one more, but my heart right now is telling me I'm supposed to do this mid-list part. Like, where do you feel a sense of like, I'm supposed to do this right now? Focus on that one thing and get one thing done at a time. I promise, at least in my experience, when I have that and I gain momentum in that one thing, I actually can complete it faster than if I was to try to do a bunch of different things at once. And then over the next 5 years, you're like, wow, none of this stuff actually got done. So pick one thing at a time, get it done, and then move on to the next thing on your list. Or like when you have enough momentum with that one thing, then you can maybe start adding another little thing in, but not something that's going to take over the entire project. So focus on one thing at a time, step out of your comfort zone, try new things, and let yourself see the beautiful experiences that are showing up for you, the connections that you're going to meet, the opportunities that will show up, the things that you're going to see, the animals that you might connect to, the downloads that you'll get spiritually, just a sense of empowerment that you're going to feel. There's so many beautiful things that happen when we close the door on our comfort zones and enter something new. And I know I've said variations of that, but there's a reason that I'm repeating it, is because it's so important and I needed to hear it myself. And this trip, like I said, has been a massive awakening for me of like, sometimes, even if it doesn't make sense to your logic mind, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and do it and experience those things, and then you'll understand why you needed to do it when you actually just do it. So I want you guys to hopefully have this give you a little bit more charge in your day for the wonderful aspects of your life that are wanting to be experienced, and the beauty that you individually have in this world that we need. So please, if you have things that you're wanting to do and you feel like, who am I to do them? Know that you're here to do them. You are here to give us your gifts. And it's actually selfish for you to hold them back from us. We need it. We need what you have to say. We need how you have to say it. We need the zest that you're going to bring to it. All of the beauty that is you, we need it. So don't be selfish. Don't hold back. Show us what you got and step into a new level of frequency for your human development, your soul growth, your connections, all of it. So I love you guys so much, and I hope that this gives you a little bit of a zest to embark on new beautiful things. And comment below if you have things that you want to share, or if there's things that you've been kind of diving into where you've experienced conquering the comfort zone and experienced beauty, or whatever you want to share, honestly. I love these conversations with you guys, and this is just an important one that I think that we all need to get over, holding ourselves back from the beautiful aspects of life, because we only get one life in this body. I do believe I've been here many times, but not as this person. And I think it's beautiful for us to get to experience as much as we possibly can. So I'm sending you guys so much beauty and love and good vibes for your day, and try and challenge yourself to get out of those comfort zones within the next, let's say, week. Try and do something that's going to move you past the comfort zone within the next week, even if it's a small little thing. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching.